You have a desire that is eating you alive. And the terrifying part? You think it is helping you. You think this desire keeps you safe, keeps you motivated, keeps you ahead of everyone else. You have held on to it so tightly for so long that you cannot imagine existing without it. But I need you to hear something before you live another day carrying this weight. This desire is the single most destructive force in your life right now. It is responsible for your sleepless nights, your racing thoughts, your inability to feel peaceful even when everything around you is fine. And until you see it clearly, it will continue burning you from the inside. I am going to name it in the next few moments, but first, I need to make sure you are actually paying attention. Because what I am about to reveal has the power to change how you experience the rest of your life. Write "show me" in the comments if you genuinely want to see what has been hidden from you. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly at peace? Not the absence of problems. Real peace. The kind where your mind was not constantly calculating, worrying, planning for things that have not happened yet. If you struggle to remember, that itself is the evidence. Something has hijacked your inner world, and that something disguises itself as responsibility, as wisdom, as being practical. But it is none of those things. The desire I'm talking about is this: the desire to control. Not just situations, everything. How people perceive you, how events unfold, how tomorrow should look, how others should behave, how life itself should operate according to your expectations. You have become a control addict, and like every addiction, the more you feed it, the hungrier it becomes. Stay with me, because understanding how this desire operates is the first step to finally breaking free from its grip. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 39, I revealed something crucial to Arjuna. I told him that desire is like a fire that can never be satisfied. It covers wisdom the way smoke covers fire, the way dust covers a mirror, the way a womb covers an embryo. Look at those three images carefully. Smoke covering fire, dust covering a mirror, a womb covering an embryo. Each one represents a different level of obstruction. Sometimes the covering is thin and easily cleared. Sometimes it requires effort to clean, and sometimes the covering is so complete that what lies beneath is entirely invisible. Your desire to control has covered your natural peace. Depending on how long you have been feeding this addiction, the covering might be thin or impossibly thick. But here is what matters. The peace is still there. It never left. It is simply covered. You are not broken. You are not incapable of peace. You have simply allowed something to grow over your natural state until you forgot it existed. If this is landing somewhere real inside you, press the like button, not for the video, but as your recognition that something true is being uncovered right now. Let me show you how this desire actually operates in your daily life. Because until you see its fingerprints everywhere, you cannot begin to loosen its grip. Morning comes. Before your feet touch the floor, your mind is already racing. What needs to happen today? What could go wrong? What you need to make sure of? The day has not started, but you are already trying to control its outcome. You go to work or handle responsibilities. Someone does something unexpected. Plans change. Things do not go how you imagine, and immediately tension floods your body. Not because anything terrible happened, but because it happened outside your control. Someone says something that could be interpreted multiple ways. Your mind obsesses. What did they mean? Are they upset with me? Should I have responded differently? You replay the conversation 15 times, trying to control something that has already passed. Evening arrives. You should be resting, but your mind is already living in tomorrow. Preparing, strategizing, trying to control a day that does not exist yet. And somewhere in all of this, peace sits patiently beneath the noise, waiting for you to stop long enough to feel it. This is what the desire for control actually costs you. Not just stress, your entire experience of being alive. Now here is something that might surprise you. The desire for control often comes from love. Love for your family, so you try to control their choices. Love for your work, so you try to control every outcome. Love for your future, so you try to control how life unfolds. But here is what that love does not understand. Control is an illusion. It has always been an illusion. You cannot control how people feel about you. You cannot control what happens tomorrow. You cannot control the economy, the weather, other people's choices, or 1,000 other variables that affect your life daily. The only thing you have ever been able to control is your inner response. And ironically, the more you try to control the outer world, the more you lose control of your inner world. This is the trap. This is why the desire for control destroys peace. It makes you fight a war you can never win while neglecting the only territory that was ever truly yours. Let me share something else I taught that speaks directly to this. In chapter 5, verse 22, I pointed out something that most people miss entirely. I said the pleasures that arise from contact with external things are actually sources of suffering. They have a beginning and an end. A wise person does not find delight in them. Now, what does this have to do with control? Everything. Your desire to control is actually a desire for a specific external outcome. You want things to go a certain way because you believe that outcome will bring you peace. You think once this is handled, once that is secured, once everyone behaves properly, then you will feel okay. But peace that depends on external conditions is not peace. It is hostage negotiation. You are constantly bargaining with the universe, saying I will feel okay only if you give me what I want. And since the universe does not operate according to your preferences, you remain in constant tension, waiting for conditions that may never arrive, suffering in the gap between what is and what you demand. The wise person I mentioned, the one who does not find delight in external pleasures, is not joyless. They have simply moved their source of peace from the outside to the inside. They have stopped making their inner state dependent on things they cannot control. This is freedom. This is what your soul is actually hungry for. If these teachings have given you something valuable today, you can support this work through the Super Thanks option below. Your support allows these conversations to continue with the same depth and sincerity. Now let me give you something you can use immediately. The next time you notice yourself trying to control something or someone, pause. Ask yourself one question. What am I afraid will happen if I do not control this? Be honest with the answer. There is always a fear underneath the control. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of uncertainty. Name that fear, look at it directly, and then ask a second question. Can I survive that fear if it comes true? In almost every case, the answer is yes. You have survived every difficulty that has ever come your way. You are still here, still breathing, still capable of growth. The fear tells you that losing control means destruction, but your own history proves otherwise. You have been out of control countless times, and you made it through. This does not mean bad things never happen. They do, but your suffering is not created by the bad things. It is created by your desperate grip on controlling whether they happen. Loosen the grip, even a little, even for a moment. Feel what exists beneath the constant effort. Feel the peace that has been waiting. I want to tell you something before we end. I have watched you exhaust yourself trying to hold everything together. I have seen the toll it takes, the tension in your body, the noise in your mind, the way peace feels like a distant memory. And I need you to know, you were never supposed to carry this burden. Control was never your job. Your job is to show up fully, respond with wisdom, and release the outcomes to a flow larger than your individual preferences. This is not weakness. This is alignment with how life actually works. The river does not control where it goes. It moves with the landscape, adapting, flowing, finding its way. And it always reaches the ocean. You can be like that river, strong and flexible, moving and trusting, fully alive and completely at peace. Send this to someone who has been exhausting themselves trying to control everything. Someone whose peace has been buried under endless effort. They need to hear this today. Stay connected with this channel if you want to continue uncovering the patterns that steal your peace. There is more freedom waiting to be discovered. The grip can loosen, the peace can return, and you can finally stop fighting a war that was never yours to win. I am with you in that surrender.